Hey guys, this is Nick with Cymatics. Welcome to our bonus video number 1 for the Hip Hop Beat Making Foundation series. And in this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make an R&B beat from scratch. I'm going to be making everything from the melody, the drums, the bass, hopefully keep everything concise and easy to understand. I'm not going to be dwelling on too many areas as I was in the earlier videos. We're just going to condense everything into one video, and that'll be for each bonus video. So without further ado, let's get started. So what I'm going to do is start with the chords. R&B music generally, especially like modern hip hop R&B style music, is very centered around the chords and the vibe of the chords and also the color of the chords. So they have to be very dark, very spacious, and that's what we're going to try to achieve. So I want to do like a slow R&B jam at 96 BPM. That's just what I'm feeling at the moment. So let's try to find some kind of a patch. I want something that's like a nice long patch that I can just sustain for a long period of time and play some chords with it. So something very simple, almost like a sine wave. Yeah, something like that. Well, we can at least just write the chords down. So I'm going to do everything in arrangement view. Let's just draft the MIDI. I'm going to try to move relatively quickly. So we'll start off the chords. Just a lot of minor ninths. A lot of leading tones. This D note. That gives a nice color. Oops. I'm just gonna let it run. I don't want to put anything on the end there. Maybe we can add like this note at the end. Very simple. Gonna keep it simple. Okay, let's figure out. Like, this is kind of what I was thinking about. Yeah, that's good. That's very nice. So I'm gonna move around the notes so it doesn't just hit in one instant, because it sounds too computerized if that's the case. Oh, such a nice sound. I like it. Perfect. What a nice sound, eh? Kind of want to stop it right here. And then we probably will add another chord, just because the sound, I think, demands it. The sound of the chords themselves. Really cool. I kind of like that tension between C. So I want to have another instrument that'll just be there droning around at the note C, just to give us some tension, to give us some interest. So probably find like a synth long, some weird sound. Doesn't really matter that much. Baby, that might be it. It might be something totally uncalled for. Got a bunch of garbage happening on the top end though. Keep that on layaway. Actually, we might just sound match this just to see what we come up with. Okay. Okay, we're getting to bass territory. I want to deal with bass separately. I'm not sure how the lead will look in the future. Maybe I'll try something. Let's see. Just finding cool colors here. So we'll keep that for now. It's gonna be a very ethereal like pad anyways. I'm gonna process it to be a bit more in the background, but this I want to give some chorus. We can use the chorus in Omnisphere. We can also use the chorus in Ableton. Okay. And now we need reverb, and reverb you can do before or after the filter, which I'm going to add in a second. Add a bit of retro color for that distortion and some noise and wobble. All the good stuff. destroy it with an equalizer. Controlled demolition. But what I tend to do sometimes is hit it with some digital destruction here with the rate and smooth it out. And then I use the filter to cut that off. Cut away some of that low end, and then we can try putting the Valhalla after the reverb, the EQ. This is the kind of vibe I imagined. Let's keep that on for the time being. All right. Okay, let's duplicate this for the time being and freeze and flatten it and just try something out. I want to try reversing this audio just to see what the hell happens. Yeah, some potential there in that idea, at any rate. Kind of like the wacky effect it has, actually. But I'm going to cut out all the low end. Okay. Reverb. You want to be really spacey with it, which I do. We can do like some wacky delays and make the delay regular. Some, you know, some tricks going on up there in the higher registers occasionally. Kind of like that. What if we could try just taking this section and copy pasting it. Maybe we can take this out. Yeah, this is nice. Just gives it some ambient characteristics. Okay. Cool, so now let's just throw in a base. Let's, I don't know, call this effects. Cool. Let's throw in a omnisphere and go to the classic growler base because everybody uses it because it is a good base patch. So don't be afraid to use it. Let's write the base based on the root notes of each chord, which is C. Some dissonance happening there. It's because of this. Oops. There we go. Clipping. Let's bring our levels down a bit. So obviously I'm tempted to go in and add some melodic elements, but for now I'm just gonna get this low end under control. Add some delay to this, to the chords, again to just make it spacier. I get those distorted tones. I kind of like that. Okay, now what don't we like? We don't like that the bass is a bit too fuzzy. Yes, so I want everything to be very muted, as you can tell, hopefully, by now. Okay, let's throw in some, let's start constructing some drums. So my idea was like, again, let's just make the template. Okay. Alright. Let's add a snare of some kind. Just throw something in just to have a reference. One thing I'm not really too much a fan of is the fact that the bass is so stereo, it's so wide. That's cool, but I want the very low end to be centered, so I'm gonna just keep it stable. Getting there. Let's add a second. Okay, name this hat 1. Let's get a hat 2 going. A really funky thing that I like doing, or I don't like doing it because I don't do it often, but in these cases it kind of calls for it, is to have some like irregular delay on the hi-hats. Gives it a bit of a spatial feeling without reverb. Speaking of reverb, let's add some reverb to our snare. Reverb is the name of the game, as you can tell. Very important in this kind of music, in this kind of a style, rather. Okay, let's get a plate, dirty plate, maybe. Should do the trick. Starting to get some heart-throbbing vibes, for sure. Okay, now, it's just a matter of, like, messing around with percussion and stuff like that, so let's try maybe... Let's get triplet mode going, and I want to do a little roll here. Louder. And then loudest. different hi-hat sample. The pitching effect. Quantize everything, make sure everything's on time, because clearly I'm having trouble with that. There we go. Okay, cool. At 2. Everything is subject to change, so we're not going to worry too much about anything being set in stone. But it's starting to take shape. Now, open hats. Okay. I like that too. Maybe decay the roll a bit as it goes along. That's a cool effect too. Less here, make it less repetitive here. Everything has to be reverberated heavily because that's just how it is. Okay, kicks, finally. I always save the kicks for last. Here, honestly, I don't feel like we even need an 808. A lot of these RnB beats, they have a very heavy bass, like the one we have here, which means you don't really need an 808. Okay. So here the kick plays a much larger role rhythmically. sit here and like take a while to figure out the optimal way to place the kick to make it more interesting and fall in between all the gaps, but it's not necessary. Try something here a bit more aggressive. Just in the aim of having a better mix. Cutting away a bit more low end instead of the low shelf, having a high pass filter. Add a very long, lazy delay here onto the open hi-hat. So we have like 1/4, do a ping pong. So let's try something here with the hi-hats. So at this point, really, it's just how spacey can you get, you know? We can add some percussion. My main goal right now is to have like a snap. And they all have reverb already, good. I don't have to add it. So what I do is like have a snare go here, naked, and then have the snap come in, but have the snap be a little bit before the snare, like that. Clipping, or we've been clipping, but it's okay. Glue compressor, soft clip. I'm gonna disable the compression completely. Actually, compression might be okay here. Okay, I want to go back to my base. Yeah, just control that high end a bit more. This effect will be cool, but needs to be a little bit later. So we're gonna reduce a bit of the low end on the snap. You'll hear it, even though it's so quiet, you'll still hear it because it's kind of jumps out from the rest of the patterns. So I can have it minus 52. Like minus 20, you'll still hear it. Okay, where's my snare? Okay. Boost a bit of low end on it because I need it to bang. Try a different plate. So now we can try adding like another high-end element because we've earned it. Because we made the beat basically. And the rest is ear candy. And now that you set the landscape, it's much easier to write the lead. That's why I kind of stopped writing it earlier, because now we have something to write over. So if we like pick some kind of a lead, let's say lead, let's try mystical. Yeah, something like this might work. Kind of an arpeggio idea, but make it very background. There's different candidates for an arpeggio. You can do this one. Here. Cool, so now we're going to extend the notes like so that we can enable legato and omnisphere. Okay, now it's being weird. Make sure this is... Yeah, it's a bit romantic. the overall vibe. Now, what I want to do though, add like a phaser or something to make it really wishy-washy. Put that before the EQ. Obviously reverb, but delay will really work wonders here. I can just use the regular Ableton delay. This chord is a D. Smooth. So that's how you make an R&B beat, guys. I hope you learned something. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.